Well, churches, mosques, synagogues are bombed. Religious leaders are kidnapped and tortured, and people of faith are harshly persecuted. Russia is carrying out a diabolical plan in Ukraine to cleanse the country of certain religious groups.
Advocates for religious freedom are raising the alarm about the abuses and calling for action to stop them. Wendy Griffith reports.
Russia is under the microscope for atrocities committed since the start of its war with Ukraine, from the killing and torture of religious leaders to the destruction of houses of worship. One Russian official even used the term Desatanization to describe the plan to cleanse the nation of many religious groups.
Desatanization should be understood as nothing less than the elimination of Ukraine's flourishing religious diversity.
Wednesday, members of the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom met virtually to highlight how Russia's invasion of Ukraine is creating severe violations of religious freedom, especially in Russia's occupied territories.
The Russian military has indiscriminately bombed churches, monasteries, kingdom halls, mosques, synagogues, cemeteries, and other religious sites. And the Russian soldiers have abducted, tortured religious figures because of their leadership role.
At least 8 Russian tanks.
CBN News reported firsthand on the atrocities in the city of Bucha outside Kyiv. Our George Thomas met with Christians who were forced to hide and pray as Russian troops carried out atrocities.
The commander said he would make me watch as he killed the others, and then he would skin me alive.
167 Ukrainian Christians hid in the basement of their church when the Russian assault started. Video and pictures obtained by CBN News show church members praying, singing, and reading scriptures day and night. Anahan believes God spared their lives because of their prayers.
It was very clear to us that God was watching over us. Everything was in his hands. Like the story of how Daniel was in the lion's den, we were under God's protection.
Ukrainian's Jewish community is also targeted.
Russian forces attacking Ukraine have also physically desecrated Holocaust remembrance sites and sadly killed Holocaust survivors.
It's not just Ukraine. Since the invasion, Moscow is tightening its grip inside Russia, including religious groups. Moscow's exiled chief rabbi testified about the ongoing anti-Semitism faced by Jews there.
The new situation for Jews in Russia is becoming more and more dangerous. And in September, I called on the Jews of Russia, whoever can leave should leave the country.
Rabbi Goldschmidt says 30% of Russian Jews have fled Russia since the war began, with some 50,000 emigrating to Israel. CBN News recently accompanied a plane load of Ukrainian and Jewish refugees making Aliyah to Israel with the help of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Former Congressman Frank Wolf recommended sending a delegation to Moscow, including the Pope, to press Russian political and religious leaders to stop the persecution. Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
Well, this is yet more evidence of war crimes being committed by Russia in Ukraine and the horrific stories of what Russian soldiers are doing to the women there. The bombing of hospitals and schools, the targeting of infrastructure, whether that's the electrical grid or how people get food or transportation, targeting the civilian population. All of these things add up to one word: evil. This is evil. And when you look at what the Russian Orthodox Church has done, where they've endorsed the war, and they have said this is a good war, and all of these things happening, you really shake your head. What in the world are you doing? What are you trying to enforce here? And this whole dream of some greater Russia that includes all of Ukraine, well, if you're going to completely kill the people, what are you trying to do? It's time for the world community to really stand up to this and say, okay, we're going to hold you responsible for these war crimes. This should never happen again. Jews should never be targeted. People should never be targeted for their religious faith, but that's what's happening, and it's happening right now in Ukraine.